Everywhere we look today, women are breaking barriers. We are in successful jobs, we are entrepreneurs, we are investors, we are in the leadership space now more than ever.
Wealth, wisdom, and wellness for women. They aren't just pillars, they are the values that we inspire with every conversation we have. Today, we are going to bring all the pillars come to alive in one conversation with one of the most respected voice in investment world, none other than Lakshmi Iyer.
From a research analyst to a fund manager to a CIO and a CEO, we'll be talking to the group president and CEO of Bajaj Alternate Investment Management Limited. And who better to guide us through the investment space than her? Let's dive into the conversation. Stay tuned till the end. Actually, I never imagined that I'll be meeting you here like this because few months back I had to write a LinkedIn post about you. That is the first time I actually came across your name in any place actually. So that's when I was like googling about you, who you are, and everything. Genuinely allured, ma'am. Genuinely. So and it's great that I get to share the same fascination with our viewers today. So it's a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much for being here in our podcast.
Thank you, Ramya. And don't Google for everything. Some things have to just go with the flow.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi Lakshmi. Lakshmi, you won't believe today is our exciting day. The reason we have two reasons actually. One is we are launching the new series called Wow Conversation, exclusive for women. And you are our first guest on this platform. We are so excited as well as it's honor and pleased to have you with us today.
Amazing. Priya, thank you so much. And when you said woman, I would say that while everything is special, every conversation is special. When it comes to women, we are 100% in the majority, three of us doing the
Exactly.
conversation. And that's something which has always been a passion project for me. So I go that extra mile, though I know it becomes difficult to crunch it in timelines that we're all working. We all have a
Right.
corporate life which pays us our salary. But the thing is that this is so close to my heart that I can never say no.
It's great pleasure to have you with us. And I'm so curious. I did some research on you, Lakshmi. So honestly, your journey made me little stunned. So the thing you started as a research analyst and fund manager in Kodak and CIO, and now you are a CEO of Bajaj Alts as well as group president. See, this journey wasn't quite easy because we clearly that's what so evident also, and many of them dreaming to reach that place. What you did differently from others to reach that top, and what really made this journey possible?
Honestly, Priya, if I say that right now, I don't know how many of them will believe in your viewers, but the fact is that you don't really need to do something differently.
Okay.
Okay.
And for me, definitely, I am a very simple, ordinary girl doing ordinary things, not even doing extraordinary things.
Okay.
But the consistency is key. That is very important. And more importantly, for a person like me, I go with the flow.
Okay.
I don't overthink, because when you start overthinking, when you start excessively getting anxious about tomorrow, you are forgetting to live in today.
Right.
And what you do today is what will decide what is going to happen to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer of destiny, which is a sum total of your past and present. Because past is obviously history, so and future is mystery. So what can I control? I can control only the present, right? So I think I've been a firm believer, and my mantra has always been lage raho and never give up.
Okay.
See, as you rightly observe that it is not easy, I understand, but there are so many people to do easy things. So who will take up the difficult ones? So I said, okay, game on. That is one thing, and that journey will have so many obstacles. Even if you take your vehicle and start driving to Pondi or Mahabalipuram, you will have potholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will have speed breakers. Do you decide that you're going to take a U-turn and go back? Answer is no. You want to just keep marching on.
Right.
And I think that's what I did. Yeah, so far so good. And it is an evolution. It has to happen gradually. And and I think this journey still continues for me.
Oh, yes, as you mentioned, consistency is definitely the key here. But apart from consistency, ma'am, I am sitting in a place where a lot of people who are just starting out are sitting here right now. So, from here, we also want to aspire to go to levels like go CEO level, CFO levels. That is the few of our only aspirations in our life actually to get to that kind of a level. So how do I get here from this seat to that seat?
You have to walk the talk. It is as simple. I'll give you an example, okay? Last year, when I was moving from Kotak to Bajaj, I didn't know I was moving, obviously. So I had decided I will do Kailash Mansarovar. I want to do the parikrama.
Okay.
It's a 2.5 day thing, and it's a quite an arduous journey. So you have to be mentally fit, physically fit. It didn't happen, obviously, because I had just moved roles, and obviously day one it wouldn't look appropriate. The next year, that is this year, again the opportunity came by. This friend of mine reminded me, hey look, we had decided to do this trip last year, what are we doing about it? And suddenly I realized that, hey, I was so consumed in setting up something new that I forgot that that is something which I need to accomplish. So to your point, Ramya, I'd say that you have to walk the talk.
Yeah.
You say what you do and do what you say. It is super important. And in Hindi we say kathni karni ek si. It is extremely important. So something which I had manifested, like the way you are manifesting this is what you want to do, you have to take appropriate actions to be able to achieve it.
Yes.
So I actually finished my Kailash Parikrama just 2 weeks back. It required mental agility and physical fitness. And in this journey, in our careers, you need to be mentally agile and you need to be super flexible. I think that is a non-negotiable for you to aspire what you want to get.
So, ma'am, there is a lot of places where we can lose a sight of this mental agility that you have mentioned, right? So, any ways that you keep that flow going on, like consistently, even if you're like having some setback or anything that puts you down, how do you come back to the same spot? Like take it from where you have left.
Good question.
Do you know? It might sound very foolish, but have you ever spoken to yourself? You have to keep.
I have done so many times. I have done. Always, I would like to I will ask question and come on, you go on answer for that question.
Exactly. And if you're feeling conscious about it now, I'll give you another hack. Just stand in front of the mirror. So, you have your reflection, talk to that person.
Yeah.
And when you start talking, whatever you are missing out, wherever you are stuck, trust me, it's a very useful hack. I don't do reels on this, unfortunately, because I don't get that kind of time. Whatever little bit I'm posting food pictures, which is what I end up doing most of the time. But the thing is that try talking to yourself. Who better than you knows about yourself? And when you start talking to yourself, you will realize that, hey, look, this is where I'm faltering. So come back on track.
Yes.
This is where I think I made a mistake. Come back on track. Oh, this is fantastic. This is going good. Pat yourself on the back. As women, we become very reticent. We don't like to pat ourselves on the back.
Yes.
Do that. When you do that, you just see the magic unfold.
Definitely.
Definitely. It was really amazing actually. See, you pat yourself. Obviously, most of them, they are not patting for themselves. They are not feeling proud for themselves actually. So this was really amazing. And my curious question after this, women in 40, they are juggling in their career. They just want to restart their career and they might have elderly parents at home. They need to take care of the kids. Like, where they need to start, if they want to start now, where they need to start, what should they have to prioritize first?
See, priority list will differ for everyone. Okay. For example, I come to Chennai. Suppose I land today and my friend comes to Chennai. Both of us land at the same time. What she goes towards, I obviously checked into the hotel and then I had meetings and then I'm here. Her priority is shopping. So she's in here for a retail therapy, for example. So she will start off. So priorities for each one of us will be very, very different. So writing down really helps. So, this is where you have to go old school and kind of try to prioritize for yourself. Hey, this is what I want and this is what I want to achieve. And then where is the gap? Off and on, we in our fast-paced lives, in the hustle and bustle, we kind of forget the basic commonsensical stuff. And then we go for the esoteric stuff, which is really not required. So I think even for a woman, to your point, you said, who is starting off, I would say the best day to start was yesterday. The next best day is today. So you don't have to first, Warren Buffett made his entire wealth, the bulk of his wealth, when after 60.
After 60.
After the age of 60. So I would say, but he started investing when he was in his teens.
True.
So the point I'm trying to say is that age is just a number.
Okay.
age is just a number. You have to keep telling this to yourself. It doesn't matter whether you're in your teens, whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s. It's just a number. And in the investment journey or in the investment world, for example, we don't retire. See, because ours is not like a sportsmanship, right? I mean, even then you look at tennis, for example, 40 somethings are giving a chase to 20 somethings, and that's happening. But there it's also a physical sport more than, and also endurance and physical mental agility. But in our lives, when we are talking about careers, when you're talking about financial careers, it's all about the mental makeup. And when in doubt, right. Very important.
Yeah. Ma'am, let's just reduce the timeline to 20. You said age doesn't matter. But right now, let's say I'll give you a scenario where a person is just starting out. This is purely in regards to investing. They have their first paycheck in their hand. What do they do? What do they need to do with that? Like right now, no idea. But in your knowledge, if you were in their place, what would you do?
So, there I would say when you're starting off and when you're in your 20s, that's when you typically get your first paycheck. First, you need to rewrite one rule for yourself, which is you're getting an income. Okay? Don't start reducing your expenditure. First, you say minus your expendable or your surplus that you want to keep aside or your savings that you keep aside, and then you say that is equal to expenses. So investments less saving, income less savings is equal to your expenditure. That is the first principle or formula that you need to rewrite, and that savings pool that you have kept, that money needs to be routed to investments. I think that is the first step in anyone's career or earning career when he or she sets off, because typically when you start earning, when you get your first paycheck, you're buying gifts, you want to make your mom happy, you want to make your dad, you want to make your family happy, your friends happy, so all of that, and all that happiness is obviously expenditure, right? So the moment you get an income, you start expending, and that's a fallacy, and that is what, as aspiring investors, as young investors, when we start off, we should not do. Once you do that, so I think that is the differentiation between the starting off stage versus when you started saying 20s versus 40s. So when you are in that age where you are a slightly mature investor, well, it could also be that you have not started investing even at the age of 40, which is also fine. Don't feel guilty about it. As I said, remember that astute investors also took time to build their wealth, so for them also it's the same principle. But if you have already been there, done that, then at that stage, I would say 40s and 50s are the new 60s, where people are assuming that retirement will not happen till 60 and inflation will never hit me. So there your investment outlook and the formula is very different. There you have to say investments is equal to inflation plus plus. That should be the formula. And that's how you buy your investments.
So you said age is not a matter. So it can be 20, it can be 40, but they can come not yesterday. If you are not done yesterday, that's fine. At least come today.
Absolutely.
So take today and then work on it. Yeah, really good, actually. So we were like wondering your time schedule also. So you have spent like nearly 3 decades in the finance industry. So it was like amazing. On the top of that, so woman responsibility will more once she become the mother. And busy schedule and mother role, and you are focusing on fitness too. So in this case, how do you manage your work-life balance? Like I'm really curious. My husband every time say, go for gym. At least do some exercise. I will do. I never come that I will. So how do you manage that?
So if we say that fitness is only in the gym, then we will never be able to pursue a fitness journey. So that's point number one. So find props in your workplace is what I tell people. You have a chair, you can do like sit-ups, few of them. You can do squats, for example. For that, you don't even need a chair. So I think any prop that you find around, see, I think it's all about the orientation. Okay. It's all about, there is Shah Rukh Khan's famous dialogue which says, "Tum kisi cheez ko shiddat se chaho." If you really have wanting, then obviously it manifests and that kind of happens. So the universe conspires. So I think it's all about wanting to say that what is there on my wish list, what is there that I need to do it, I need to tick the box. And see, I tell you that even the richest man in the world or the richest person in the world has got 24 hours. And you and me, lesser mortals, also have that equal amount of time. So it's all about categorizing. So, you can actually draw a pie chart of your time and say that how much of my time is being allocated. See, we don't do all these things consciously. And then you will realize the amount of screen time in I would say scrolling through reels and in just looking at what is happening in somebody else's life is consuming a significant part of your life.
Yeah.
And who does it give happiness to? Everyone except you. So please choose to do what makes you happy. Being fit, being in shape will give you happiness, will give you a long term formula for guaranteed health.
Right.
But looking at somebody else's life and feeling good or bad or ugly about it is definitely going to dissipate your energy, especially if something good is happening in somebody's life. And see, in Instagram world or in social media world, people are never unhappy. They're always happy. So who is unhappy? The person who's scrolling them. So I think, make those adjustments. Life is all about making adjustments. And trust me, when you make that pie chart for yourself and you allocate and reallocate your time, you just realize that 24 hours are so much. And you can still sleep 6, 7, 8 hours. I sleep 6 hours every day. 18 hours is the combination of what I do all of this. 6 hours I need to sleep uninterrupted.
Okay.
It's some can say it's less, somebody can say it's
So
more.
you're working for 18 hours then.
That is correct.
Every single day.
That is correct. Yeah.
All right.
Sunday
Wow,
maybe
amazing.
a luxury of 1 hour extra, but the biological clock just kind of makes me wake up by 6:30. But I try to stretch it to 7 on a Sunday. But when I'm traveling, that's also not possible.
All right. Okay. So, like you said, the pie chart, we have to make a pie chart. What is your pie chart? I'm so curious to ask you, what is your pie chart?
My pie chart, I am a very incorrect example. My pie chart will show work, work, and work. But for me, my work is my balance. So, you had earlier made a point, Priya. You said that, we are homemakers, we are mothers, we are spouses. You just made that statement. So, I have one part of as a pie chart and assume that pie chart is a pizza right now. I believe in an equitable distribution of that pizza in my mind. But we know that we can't equitably distribute it. Even the best guy who's serving that pizza on the table will show you that one size is slightly bigger and one size is definitely disproportionately smaller. But that's how life is. So can you have the perfect pizza which is cut a 12-inch cut into the perfect 8 pieces? Impossible. Only 2 people can get it right, liar and lucky people. And right now, neither. So I would say that try to allocate your priorities within that pizza pie. I think that is super, super important. So I tell you that as a mom, of course, my son is now in undergrad in the US, but I never missed his single parent-teacher meeting. I never missed a single annual day for him because it's all about planning. And some bit of planning is inevitable when you have to manage all of these. And when you start doing it, you realize it's not rocket science because I'm not a rocket scientist. So I think it's all about trying to prioritize, plan ahead, and make your pizza pie. When you make your pizza pie, you realize it'll all fall in place. And then you can eat it too.
That's
so
what we
wonderful.
ultimately wish for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's so wonderful also actually. So making time for ourselves and making time for family and making time for our career, and there might be some imbalance, but that's fine to go on. We have to sustain with that imbalance also, right?
But life is never about being perfect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to be perfectly imperfect, but within that imperfection, try to find out what is your right mojo, as I say. I don't call it the balance because balance means it's all right here, and there is always an up and a down. But it's perfectly okay to have that slight imbalance because that means that you are giving slight edge and priority to some task which requires your attention versus something which you think can be done later, and it's absolutely okay.
Right.
So far we have covered a whole lot of aspect on how to allocate yourself to your life, your personal life. We'll get into a much more technical part in this session. So, one word in this industry that we constantly hear is asset allocation, right? So, how important do you think asset allocation is? Let's go in a age demographic way. So right now, if you are in your 20s, the two major advantages that you have is having time in your plate and the ability to run and gain all your money. In that particular time, do we have to go for this kind of a approach?
Let me give you a food example, okay? So in my 20s, I'm going to be soon turning 50. In my 20s, I love cheese and chocolate. I don't have coffee, so my sin or my vices are indulging on cheese and chocolate. And they cheer me up, by the way. So in my 20s and probably even early 30s or even late 30s, the amount of indulgence that I used to do in cheese and chocolate was crazy. So love it. And at that age you can take on more because you know that your fitness and your metabolic activity is so high, so you can burn it out.
Yeah.
Now as I'm turning 50 and getting onto the other side of 50, I still consume cheese and chocolate,
Okay.
but the quantities have completely come down. Point number one. Point number two is milk chocolate has kind of given way to dark chocolate, probably 80-85% dark chocolate. I still have my guilty pleasures having the milk chocolate. So, extending this analogy to investments, I'd say that early on in life, when we are earning and there is a steady state of income, the ability to add on carbs or fat into your body is significantly high. So, go for it. And in some sense, I do say that age is not a criteria to decide how much of asset that you should have in the portfolio. But I'd also say that the priorities keep changing. In the early on stage, you are more in the accumulation of income stage. Yes, you do have expenditure. So, which is why I say that early on, if you have a very big capital expenditure, then your consumption of these carbs, when I say carbs, I'm talking about equities, okay? The tendency to accumulate equity should be higher, especially if you do not have a very large stated capital expenditure in place. As you go into your income hood and you are earning more regular streams of income, I'd say that in the early stage, even if you don't really focus about what's going to happen to me when I'm 60 or 65, I would say that is still pardonable. But when you are in your, say, early 40s, when you know that my time period is anywhere between 10 to 20 years, people just hang in their boots even at 40, for example, so they plan earlier. So I'd say that's when you try to bring the balance slightly more in your favor. And you need to make sure that the lifestyle that you are doing today, living today, in 40s, your lifestyle is obviously slightly grander. That's when you start telling yourself that, hey, look, this lifestyle, if I have to sustain for the next 20 years, I need to plan differently.
Okay.
So that's how your allocation changes. But it is inevitable that you need to have all of these asset classes sparingly in some proportion in your portfolio. But the dominant one is something that you can decide depending on your end goals.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So does the depending on the end goal, some way incorporate your risk and everything? How do you analyze yourself for that? Like if someone wants to do something DIY, like invest themselves DIY, what will you suggest them to do?
See, I don't have any problem with DIY, but let me tell you something. When I go with my architect friend to an IKEA store, for example, IKEA is all about DIY furniture. She is immediately able to visualize how the pieces will be fit in, and I am completely lost out on that. And I have to tell her, hey, look, you're the best person, you do it, I'm outsourcing it to you. So DIY is for those people who have good command on the subject. In this case, it is investments. But for everybody else, which is what bulk of India is, I would say don't feel shy to dig into the professional services of your distributor or your advisor who is your coach.
Yeah.
What does the coach do? They do your profiling. They try to anticipate something which probably you have not seen. You've seen the movie Dangal?
Yeah.
Now the Dangal is the Foghat sisters, the wrestlers. So the father was their coach in the initial stage. The father identified the potential that, hey, look, these two girls can make it big in wrestling.
Exactly.
Now, if you didn't have a coach, you would not be able to do that.
Yeah,
I think that is extremely, extremely important.
What you said is really true, Lakshmi. So even I feel like when it comes to sports, we need coach. When it comes to gym, we need a personal trainer. But when it comes to money, I honestly see some of the investor. So they are not using the same thinking actually. So when it comes to investing or when it comes to money, they randomly go for social media. Most of them they are doing that. or like family circles or anyone near to them, they go for it. Shouldn't really like personal finance deserve the same approach, or it should be in the different way? Like you said, go for the coach, but how, like what percentage are going for the coach?
No, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, Priya. The way we are wired, uh, everything in life doesn't come for free. You know, that's where I tell people the way you have physical fitness, and that physical fitness, I need a trainer. Okay, the same way I need financial fitness, and for
Okay.
financial fitness, I need a navigator, I need a Sarathi. You know, even Arjuna required
Yeah.
Lord
Right.
Krishna, right?
Yeah.
Now you can say, oh, he's the best archer in the world. Why do you
Yes.
require? But even he required Lord Krishna to be his
Exactly.
mentor, to navigate. So what they do is they kind of prevent you from making those costly mistakes. Have you seen a movie called Tare Zameen Par? There is
Yeah.
Ishan Awasthi who was the special child in that movie.
Yeah.
Now it took an Amir Khan to recognize that hey, this guy has a unique
Potential.
talent, a
Right.
potential, and let's hone that. And that's how he became his coach.
Yeah.
So I think we all require in the financial world, we also require a lighthouse. And that lighthouse is your friendly neighborhood distributor. Advisor. You call him or her by whatever name, it doesn't matter. But you need to bounce off your financial ailments with him or her. To your point that you made, that risk is one area which is an ailment. I need to solve for it. Why? Because you know I am very risk averse, but by nature I'm not risk averse because I'm doing something else in non-financially which you know has a lot of risk. So I'm saying orientation and talking to your advisor and distributor is definitely financial therapy.
Okay.
There is no substitute to that.
Yeah.
But if you are so confident that, hey, look, I know it all in the DIY manner, if you
Yes.
are an architect, take control. That's perfectly fine. But how many of them in India? It's a very sparing proportion, it's a very small
Right.
proportion.
So, financial therapy, obviously. So, this is actually very good insight, valuable information for our audience, because everybody should have to realize we need some financial therapy. We can't do everything by ourselves because we are in the very busy
Some way
world.
in the other, we are tuned to think that we should only do it on our own. Like it's
Exactly.
better, it shows us, portrays us as a more stronger person if we do it better. But in between, they forget to ask for help or any ways to make themselves better, right?
See, people don't realize that, you know, just because you are having whey protein and you and me are similar in construct, whey protein will be good for my gut also. People just don't realize it. So, piggybacking on your nutritionist, whatever she or he told you, cut, copy, paste. So, CCP approach does not work in investments. So, constituents could be very, very different. Maybe whey doesn't suit my gut. For me, it's plant protein, or for her, it's a pea protein. So, I think, but protein is non-negotiable. So, I think, but the ways to administer that for our health is only possible when that person works with you closely.
True.
Right. If we talk more about investment, just we will go lighter. I seen your LinkedIn profile, a fancy affiliation, finance, fitness, film, and food in order. So, is the order changed in the past, or is the order same thing you're following from the beginning?
See, finance obviously because
Yeah,
I've been
obviously.
career investment manager all my life, and that's the only
Yeah.
thing I think I can do. I love to do rather. That's
Right.
passion. Everything else probably keeps changing in terms of the degree. Movies I still watch, of course. Any movie, any genre, I love watching. If it's a non Hindi or English movie or Tamil for that matter with subtitles, I'm happy to watch it. Or Malayalam. I speak about 7 languages, so those languages I can follow. But food, I would say as I said early on, there was mindless eating. Now it's more mindful eating. Foodie I still am, but portion control is something which I've learned over years. And fitness, I realized even then and even now, fitness was a non-negotiable. But the way you administer that fitness, because after a certain age, for example, you have to maintain muscle mass density. So then, the weight training becomes non-negotiable. In 20s, it was okay, pump in adrenaline, do your cardio, and you're sorted. But now only cardio will not work. So I think making tweaks also alongside whatever you want in terms of your journey. I think making those tweaks to suit that particular situation is very important.
Okay, so now you have food you made as last, and then film you are giving priority. Can we take something like that?
Movies always kind of balance me out
Okay.
because our work lives are so consumed that we are
Exactly.
always markets being markets. It's never a pleasantry every time. So to balance that out, and I don't go by reviews. I go watch any movie because for me, movie is just about entertainment. I don't try to find logic in that. It's only for entertainment. So it's okay if he kind of flies. It's okay if she comes in with like a lady Rajni. It's perfectly fine. I don't judge those moments. It's as simple as that. And don't try to critically evaluate. That's something which I'll do in investments, not for movies. So movies, I watched Jananayakan, for example, and it was a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
So instead of a medium popcorn, I took a large popcorn. So that's my way of unwinding. So movies, I will watch any genre. If anything is great, I love, and I get inspired by every movie because I try to do relatabilities. I try to. The way I watched Jananayakan, I watched Odyssey too. Both were 3-hour movies, but and I watched Durandar also,
Yes.
and I watched part 1 and part 2. It doesn't matter what people think. It's what matters to you, what gives you happiness. And movies lighten my mood, just kind of. And I love popcorn, so
Yeah.
cheese and caramel popcorn at whatever time of the day. I'm happy to have the whole tub. I don't share the tub. That's movies for me.
Nice.
I think we had a very great conversation. We'll keep this pace up with the rapid fire question round. So, what shall we start with? You say technical or not technical? Yeah,
Up to
pick.
you. Up to you. I'll try my best to live up to your expectation.
Okay, so we'll start with the technical part. Okay, so quick round. Anything that you think, you can go for it. Okay. So Indian markets or US market?
India for sure, and US as a sweetener.
Okay. Equity or debt?
For me, it's equities because wealth creation happens through equities. Debt is more for contingency planning.
Yes. So where can you make more money, business or investing?
Invest in businesses which will make money for you. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes. So if you weren't in finance, what would you be doing?
Professor, I love teaching. I love being with students.
Nice.
So one final question. If you had to remove one word from this financial vocabulary, what it would be?
Think long term.
Yes.
I would say I would substitute it with agility. So
Okay.
agility is the name of the game because cycles are changing, so you need to be agile in this world.
Great.
Okay, nice. Yeah. And I will go with non-technical, a general question. One book everyone should read.
Secret
Okay.
by Rhonda Byrne. It's about the laws of attraction. What you manifest works. It's a beautiful book. Must keep in your library.
Yes.
Okay. Workout or meditation?
Workout,
One non-negotiable daily habit.
reading,
Okay. What's the biggest myth about confidence?
that one can never fail.
What one thing women should stop apologizing for?
Being assertive,
Yes. What one way you would use the AI to improve your proficiency?
well, AI should be my thinking partner.
Okay.
So, or my punch bag. So that's the way I'd love to use AI.
Okay. I have one question which is actually like curious to go on. So that is actually, see, how do you make a very big decision when you're 100% you're not sure about it, but you made a big decision, and like how do you deal with that fear of getting wrong?
Honestly, there is nothing called 100%.
Yeah, but like you're not sure about it.
Yeah, so then, as I said earlier, there is a gut instinct, right?
Yeah.
So you are applying logic to bulk of it, whether it's in marriage or whether it's your workplace or whether it's taking these big decisions. Quite a bit of it is science, but then you have to go with that gut instinct. And that is what differentiates from good to great. And that will happen only with years of expertise and of doing consistently the same things and trying to find ways of achieving the same means. I think that's super important.
Okay. Yes.
I think we have answered a lot of questions for us as well as
Yeah.
the viewers. Okay, one last thought you want to end this session with.
So I think there are too many thoughts. I'd say that I did mention about agility. I think the way the world is changing, we will have no choice but to use technology or AI as your confidant. You can't
Yeah.
think of them as competitors. Please think of them as collaborators. So they have to be your confidant, and you have to work alongside, and you have to be abreast of what's happening. And which is why, you asked me one non-negotiable habit. It's reading.
Yeah.
So I'd urge all your viewers to please take up the habit of reading. Read whatever you like. Read whatever you like, current affairs, you like anything. But I'm saying keep abreast of what's happening, because the pace at which the world is changing is happening sooner than you and me are blinking our eyes.
Okay. Actually, thank you, Lakshmi. You
Thank
have
you.
Yeah,
given
thank you, Chris.
valuable insights, and I hope every single conversation of us will helpful for every single individual. So, one last. So, our platform is actually we have a biggest aspirations of every individual, every woman individual need to be financially aware of it, and they should have to know like what is like exactly what is mean by financially freedom. So, one suggestion you want to give to our every woman who is watching this episode, so they need to right away they have to walk and then take that this week. So, what it would be?
See, it is not a cookie cutter approach, unfortunately, but I would say that if you believe that nobody has to tell you that you need to breathe, nobody has to tell you that you have to consume your food or drink your water, I think financial literacy is the surest path or the only path to your financial freedom.
Okay.
And when you are equipped with that as your astra, I would say that the kind of liberation in the mind, the feeling that you get is absolutely unparalleled. So I think the journey for that, as I said, has to begin as of yesterday, but the next best day is today.
Yeah.
So take charge. I think take charge of your finances. Don't get intimidated,
Okay.
because intimidation is the biggest stumbling block or the biggest mindset for you to be able to achieve that own goal. So I think empowering yourself, taking help, latching onto it, and then walking strides and then going up to the top is something which you will be able to achieve for sure.
Wow, it's so pleasure to have you, and your conversation, every single conversation you have made like that flow you're having, like that energy. So that is exactly passing on us. So come on, go on. Look how energetic you are. Like you have busy, hectic schedule, but your energy is not even dropping a single moment.
See, imagine I love food, okay, but I don't like to cook. Imagine somebody who's passionate about cooking, and imagine and just assume that she is a working woman. She comes back home, even though she's tired. When she gets into the kitchen, she starts tossing up her food, her meal for herself, for the family, whatever, and she's chosen to do this herself because that's her passion. So the point I'm trying to make is this is passion for me, and proliferation of this cause to make sure more and more women especially are able to take this message on. And this is like a game of relay. I can't keep the baton with myself.
Yeah.
I have to pass it on,
it on.
because only if I pass it on, only then we will win the race.
Right.
And this is a race that we have to collectively win. I can't individually win. So I'd say knowledge, like blood, has to freely circulate. And the more we are able to do this, I mean, if I have blood and if I know my hemoglobin is good and somebody needs blood, then I can't be selfish, right? I say, no, I'm going to keep all the blood with myself. Then no blood donation camps will be successful.
Right.
So I think this financial literacy blood has to percolate in every vein. And when it percolates in every vein, that is when the financial nourishment happens. And I want this to happen. Can I do it individually? Answer is no. So which is why platforms like you, which help proliferate the cause, I'm super passionate and very kicked about doing something like this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi, on this wow conversation. We had very nice conversation. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.